It is sometimes useful to be able to save diagnostic information to a file. You can do this by using a listener. To begin this lesson, open the Market Trader project from your Sample Files folder. And open web.config. Now add the following tag inside the configuration tag just after the end config sections tag. System.diagnostics. Next, add a trace tag inside the system.diagnostics tag with the following code: trace autoflush equals true. The autoflush property must be set to true in order for diagnostic messages to be automatically written to the log file. Next, add a listeners tag inside the trace tag. And finally, you will need to define a text writer trace listener inside the listeners tag. Use the following code: add name equals market trader log, type equals system.diagnostics.textWriter trace listener, comma system, comma version equals 2.0.3600.0, comma culture equals neutral, comma public key token equals B77A5C 561934 E089. Initialize data equals C practice ASP.NET 45 expert market trader .log. This incredibly long-winded tag adds a listener that will save any information that is written using the system.diagnostics.debug or system.diagnostics.trace classes into a log file in your sample files folder. You learned about the debug and trace classes in Lesson 6.8. Now you're going to test your new diagnostic logging. First, select the Debug profile from the Build Profiles drop-down menu. The system.diagnostics.debug class only works when the debug constant is present, so you will need to use the debug profile for any messages to be generated. Now start debugging, and click the Charts button on the page's navigation bar. Then close your web browser, and using Windows Explorer, navigate to your Sample Files folder. You can see that a new file called markettrader.log has appeared. This file contains the messages that were logged by your text writer trace listener. Double-click the file and it should open in Notepad. As you can see, this file contains messages indicating that the default.aspx and marketcharts.aspx pages were loaded. You added the code that created these messages in Lesson 6.8. It is always good practice to keep a log of any exceptions that occur in your web applications. Users often don't report errors, so it's extremely useful to have an error log available, enabling you to proactively repair errors before they are even reported. It is also often the case that users will report an error but cannot remember any of the details, making the error impossible to reproduce. In Session 12 of the Essential Skills course in this series, you learned how to log errors to a database. This is a great solution, as it allows you to log all errors from all applications in one central repository. Of course, this won't catch any errors if the database is unavailable, and is inappropriate for applications that do not make use of a database. Using a log file, as you did in this lesson, allows you to easily keep a complete log of all errors. The most thorough error logging strategy would be to simultaneously log errors to both a database and a text file. Close the log file now, and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 6-9. Use a listener to save diagnostic information to a file.